Hello, I am Amy Swavely, and um, I am the biology and environmental science teacher here at the high school. And I am going to first be talking about the biology course, and probably about halfway through, I will be talking about the environmental science course. So, those of you who are waiting for environmental science, you could probably skip to about halfway through, or you're welcome to listen to the biology portion as well. Those of you who are watching for biology, once I start talking about environmental science, you don't need to listen any further, but you may certainly listen if you wish. So welcome to our back to school night, and I'm glad that you have joined me and that you were listening to hear more about the biology and environmental science class.
Okay, so in terms of the biology course, this is how the Schoology course is set up. I just wanted to point out a few things. I do have announcements that show up at the top of the page, and anything that was here or any other updates, it goes to the updates option on the side. I have the general course information at the top in the red folder. And in this folder, I have the syllabus, which I will talk about in a moment. I have links to Quizlet and Cram.com. Those are websites that have vocabulary reviews for study skills. Quizlet has vocabulary specific to our course. So if a student were to go to Quizlet.com and they would type cacalico, the plus sign, and biology, they would get all of our vocabulary terms by chapter. They could play flashcards, games, they could print them out. It's a really good study tool. I have in here the syllabus that I will share next. And just a few things to point out. The textbook is online. Every student has access to the online book. The way they access it is actually through Power School, how they check their grades. And on the left side in the menu bar, there is a selection for Pearson courses. When they select that, they then select the authors, Miller and Levine, and their biology book is accessible that way. I just wanted to kind of go down here to assessments. So, quizzes, there's about one quiz per chapter. Some chapters have more than one. Students are all aware of any quizzes that will take place. Any student may requiz and get up to 100%. Any student may requiz and get up to 100%. They just are to take that within 1 week of their quiz return, and then let me know that they're planning to do that. Tests are slightly different. If a student earns less than a 70%, they are able to retest, but the max they could earn is a 70%. And again, that's also within 1 week, and we can schedule it, but just to let me know that is something they would like to do. Grading, I want to make sure I discuss grading because it is weighted. So tests and quizzes are 65% of their grade. Labs and activities are 20%. Assignments and classwork 10, and topic summaries are 5. The topic summaries come at the end of a unit, or in other words, right before a test. Most tests are by entire units. Some units are rather long, and so I break them into two. So we would have lessons on information, and then test on that information, and then have lessons on the rest of the unit information, and then test on that information. And the topic summaries act as study guides in preparation for those tests. The quarter or semester grade rather is 50% quarter one, 50% quarter two. There is no final exam. We have the keystone exams. If a student is in danger of not passing the course, they may have the option to take a final exam to show learning and understanding of class material. And if that's the case, I would recalculate their overall semester score. So quarter one would be 40%, quarter two would be 40%, and the final exam would then be 20%. and only to be recalculated if it does indeed help, and the student would pass the class. Keystone exams for biology are taken in January. We will have the dates for the students as that approaches, and they use their computers. It's done during our class time, and we do prepare students for what types of questions they might see, and how to answer any open-ended questions, and test taking strategies throughout the semester. If anyone has any questions, I had my phone number and email here as well. And of course, please let me know if you have any questions. Going back to the Schoology class, I have usually our current week that we're working on, and then each day. And after that week, so for instance, next week, I will start filing away these items and I will put them in the corresponding units. So I have the units broken down to, and then per chapter. And this is useful, especially if students are studying and preparing, or when they do go back to review items for the Keystone exam, or if they missed assignments and they're getting caught up on some missing work. For each chapter, I have resources, which would be any kinds of PowerPoints or video clips or images, any kinds of lab data would be in resources, and then their assignments. That's where they'd find any of the assignments to turn in. The assignments, those are basically items that are from their digital notebook. It's our daily activities that we do, whether it's notes, vocabulary, a lab, a practice paper. All of that is in the assignments folder. And most of that we do in class, and most of that we do together. And some of those things even have keys, answer keys posted for students to check and make sure that they are on the right track, whether it's for vocabulary or a quick check, which is like a little review before a quiz, that they know they're studying the correct thing and they can go back and check that. I also have on the calendar here, I do put due dates for any of the activities or assignments we're doing, kind of updates for anything like a test quiz or a due date for something. So that is on their calendar. I just wanted to point out this link here for a study mate is a vocabulary review also made specifically for our class. Has lots of different types of vocabulary games, crosswords, flashcards, fill in the letter, matching. Another nice tool for students to use to study and review. I don't have a lot of homework assignments. It's typically whatever isn't finished in class that day. Might be a few questions, finishing up a lab, preparing for a lesson the next day or an upcoming lesson. I suggest that students spend 15 minutes a day on biology outside of class. 15 minutes a day. They can set a timer if they don't have anything specific. And they say, I don't have any homework, please say, did you do your 15 minutes today? Let's set a timer, sometimes being consistent with time of day, if it's from 5 to 5:15 every day, or whatever works best for the student's schedule. And during that time, they can organize their digital notebook. They can review vocabulary, read the section that we did in class, go back through the lab or explain the lab to someone at home in their own words, and maybe answer what did they learn from that lab? What did they relate to the class materials? So 15 minutes a day, even if it's just reviewing, going over flashcards, organizing things, would be very, very helpful. So please let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. And next I'm going to talk about environmental science. So environmental science is set up in a similar fashion. I have any kind of updates would be on the side, or announcements may be up here. I have in the general course information folder the links to Quizlet and Cram again. Also in Quizlet now for environmental science, they would type in Calico plus environmental science, and all of our chapter vocabulary is accessible to them to play flashcards and review vocabulary games. I have here their syllabus, which I can go over with you as well. It's set up in a similar fashion to biology. They do have a hard copy textbook, so every student has a book. It is not available online. Again, with assessments, any student may re-quiz to get up to 100% within 1 week of quiz return. Tests, if any student has less than a 70%, they may retest to earn up to a maximum of 70% within 1 week of that test return. Grading is also weighted, just like in biology. The assessments, which are tests and quizzes, are 65%, labs are 20%, assignments and classwork is 10%, and topic summaries, which are reviews before tests, are 5%. It acts as a very good study guide. They will have a topic summary before each test. In environmental science, they do have a final exam. They do not have a keystone in environmental science. So to calculate their overall semester grade, quarter 1 is 40%, quarter 2 is 40%, and the final exam is 20%. And that final exam is cumulative. So that would mean that information from the first chapter all the way through everything we do the whole semester will be on the final exam, and we will prepare for that, and we will study for that as that gets closer. That will be in January. And then I also had my phone number and email here as well. I do have study mates on the side, which is another vocabulary review for students. Sometimes they are assignments, and sometimes they are review materials, and they can go back and do those anytime or as many times as they wish. And I do have a calendar here as well. So any upcoming assignments or tests or due dates for assignments would show up here as well. And similar to biology, I keep generally 1 or 2 weeks running here, and then as that passes, I file them into the unit folders. So right now we're in Unit 3. I try to keep them color coordinated, and I will put any resources in the resource folder. Those include PowerPoints, video clips, lab data, images from labs that we may have taken, just PDF documents, and then their assignments, which are their digital notebooks. So it's mostly things we do in class, whether it's notes, vocabulary, a lab, anything that we've done in class would go in the assignments folder. So if they're going back through to study and prepare, they could see how that's organized. And if they're going through to make up a missing assignment, there might be an assignment in the assignment folder, but they may need to access resources in order to complete it. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. I'll be happy to address any questions. And I'm looking forward to a wonderful semester, both with biology and environmental science. So thank you for joining me. I hope that you gained some information here and that we all have a wonderful semester. Thank you very much.